This St. Patrick's Day weekend and how you can avoid turning a night of fun into a lifelong tragedy.
ABC 6 News at 5 on your side starts now.
Right now at 5, Central Ohio preparing for our first real chance of severe weather this year, and you can see the areas that are at highest risk, including Columbus. We're going to start here with meteorologist Jennifer Herbert.
And Jennifer, the big question tonight, what's the timing of all of this?
Yeah, we're going to dive into that in a minute. You can see right now quite nice across the area. There's that system, though, out to the west. That'll eventually work its way into Central Ohio as we get into tomorrow morning. So we've got some time between now and then to prepare. I know, make sure you have weather alerts on your phone so we can, you are alerted if and when happens, if you're out and about celebrating St. Patrick's Day. As I mentioned, absolutely gorgeous right now. 78, feeling like 78. We also have a light breeze helping us out. So unseasonably warm. We're holding on to partly cloudy skies. Highs today, we topped out at 78. That's a tie for the record high for today. We did reach 80 in Lancaster there. We're going to hold on to the 70s as we head into the next few hours. Great night to be out and about as temperatures fall into the low 60s. Right now, that threat just off to the west. However, that will work its way into Central Ohio, into the Columbus area tomorrow morning. I'm going to time it out for you hour by hour in full weather.
There's also behind it what looks like might be a wall cloud. And that's the part we become concerned with because that's where sometimes you can get tornadoes.
It's pure devastation. I have never seen anything like this in my entire life.
The night of March 14th, 2024. An EF3 tornado with a path nearly a mile wide tears across the southern shore of Indian Lake.
There's some friends and people I haven't even gotten hold of yet, and I hope they made it through.
3 deaths and hundreds of homes destroyed. Story after story of people saving lives and saving themselves.
I laid down like this and I pulled the shower curtain closed.
And so I had to go through with an axe and chop away and kick in the doors just to get them out.
When the floor started shaking, and I just dropped straight down and crawled halfway under the bed.
The damage, an estimated $34 million.
Our Lakeview Municipal Building is demolished. Our laundromat is gone. The old plastics building is just completely demolished. Downtown, it's bad.
This is the village center of Lakeview a day after that tornado came through. Debris everywhere, buildings beyond repair. 1 year later, this is what it looks like now. Empty spaces ready for a rebuild. Marshall and Mike were out there that next morning. Our crews have been up there now throughout the week. Tell us how the progress is looking.
Jess, good evening to you here in Lakeview, where we have sunny skies, I should say, blue skies. It's been a beautiful day, but right now we are seeing those winds starting to pick up right now as well. Some strong gusts, as I'm joined here by Chief Meteorologist Marshall McPeak. We have heard from people in this community talking about the fact with that potential severe weather Jen just mentioned, there is a sense of uneasiness here tonight as well.
And the wind advisories are in effect, and that is because this wind is just going to get stronger, and that is a bit triggering for a lot of folks who are here in the Indian Lake area because that was an incredible wind before, and the threat of severe storms coming almost exactly a year later is really terrifying for a lot of folks. This morning, they were able to acknowledge a lot of the first responders who helped 1 year ago today. Take a look at some video this morning. This was at the high school earlier today. This was the Indian Lake schools, actually, and they were honoring the first responders and volunteers. They called it Stronger Than the Storm. And that's what they're determined to be. They thanked their local heroes. They heard from some of the neighbors, and they all said they were grateful for the service.
As we reflect on the past year, let us remember the strength we found in each other. The tornado may have tested us, but it also revealed the best in us. It showed us that when we come together, there is nothing we cannot overcome. Our community is stronger now because of the bonds we forged and the lessons we learned.
One of the things that we have already heard from neighbors out here today is that there is a sense of hope. that the community is rebuilding, that people are working together, and they are seeing some of those signs of reconstruction.
And we have heard those sounds of reconstruction throughout the day today. We are here right along Main Street, and it is clear that the road to recovery here on this street and on so many streets here in Lakeview, it is going to be a long road to recovery. But we have heard the construction equipment out here, as there are many homes that are in the process of being rebuilt, so many things being put back together, but still much work to do. I'm surprised by the fact that a year later, since we stood in this community and saw debris really any and everywhere you looked, you still see that in spots, in trees, on the ground. It's still scattered.
And in a lot of cases, to rebuild also involves tearing down first. You've got to get the debris out of the way before you can put something new there. We have a photographer who lives here in Lakeview, and this is what happened to her house.
In perspective, this is my back of my house, and this is my neighbor's house coming down.
Right there, a family lived there for nearly 20 years. A mom, her kids, and her husband, they made the difficult decision to leave Teresa's neighborhood and move somewhere else. We will share more of their story coming up at 5:30 in terms of exactly where they went and more on why. As we come back out here right now, that home you just saw being torn down, as this passes by us here, we will zoom in and show you what is left. Nothing there, just the lot itself. And here in Lakeview, the stories of recovery really vary as you take just a few steps down the street. There is a home where siding still needs to go up, and then a little further down the street, it's tough to see, but that brown house right there, it still has tarps covering part of the roof a year later. And then across the street, here are two more examples. You can see the house right over here that has siding still yet to go up on it, work being done on the porch there as well as to the roof. And then the greenhouse here has some new siding just put on not long ago. But beyond rebuilding in this community, it is also a day of remembering. We should have some photos we can show you here of the 3 lives who were lost 1 year ago today when that EF3 tornado tore across the region here in Indian Lake, killing these 3 people, Darla Williams, Neil Longfellow, and Marilyn Snap, all killed as that tornado hit 1 year ago today, and dozens more people were hurt. And as Marshall mentioned, there really is a sense of gratitude in this community as well today for all those first responders who acted so quickly that night after the storm as it was here, and then in the immediate moments after, to make sure more lives were not lost. We have much more to get to tonight here at Indian Lake, including how businesses were impacted by this, how they are moving ahead, and the story of one woman who has weathered her own financial storm, really trying to move ahead and build her business. Jessica and Rodney, much more to come tonight at 5:30 and throughout the rest of the newscast here on ABC6. We'll send things back to you for now.
Mike, thank you. Former NFL star and Central Ohio native Le'Veon Bell's name is now gone from Groveport Madison's football stadium.
Here's a look at that dedication ceremony back in 2017. The school is doing this after a civil lawsuit surfaced, finding Bell liable for over $25 million for serious misconduct involving a child. Now, Bell has denied those allegations. He said he wasn't even living in Ohio when this alleged abuse happened. Groveport Madison superintendent says it's important to have positive role models in all activity sponsorships. And get this, the district says that he only paid about $300,000 of the $750,000 that he promised to install turf at that stadium. Developing tonight, almost 2 years to the day, a Reynoldsburg woman was found dead in her car. The man charged with taking her life learned his fate.
Kanda Waswika Kahari will spend the next 39 years of his life behind bars. Terry Sullivan with what happened in court this morning.
Kanda Waswika Kahari shuffled into court Friday to learn his punishment for the death of Susan Ramberg. Back in March of 2023, Reynoldsburg police found Ramberg's body in the trunk of her car, which was parked in her garage. She had been strangled weeks before. Ramberg's then 10-year-old son told police he and Kahari, his mother's boyfriend, had made a bed for Ramberg in the trunk of her car, and that Kahari had checked on him in the days after Ramberg's death, bringing him food.
He should never have to hug his dead mother. Put her in the car with her murderer. He should never have to play dead while laying in his own blood so his mom's murderer will stop kicking him.
Relatives told the court the boy has suffered because of what had happened.
He should have never been left alone in a house for over 3 weeks where he knows his mother's body is in the garage. He should have never have to live in fear, wondering if and when he would be fed by a man who tried to kill him. And yet, that is exactly what my nephew endured.
This is one of the most horrific murders that I've encountered while on the bench.
The judge sentenced Kahari to 39 years behind bars, saying the physical and psychological toll this crime has taken on the child also factored into her sentencing decision. He'll be eligible for parole after doing that time. On your side, I'm Terry Sullivan.
This St. Patrick's Day weekend celebrations will be in full swing, and so will police. The warning for drivers before grabbing that green beer at 5:15.
And they're building more than wins, they're building Legos. Why several of the players on OSU's women's team are stacking bricks just as skillfully as they stack those points. It's a blockbuster story at 5:47.
And strong to severe thunderstorms are approaching central Ohio this evening and will arrive tomorrow morning. I'll let you know how this impacts your Saturday and our biggest concerns coming up in full weather.